What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Last Flight Show. I'm your host, Jake Klein. Joining me today, as always, is Matt Hicks down here on the end. And then we have Tyler Shilling with Shilling Fowl Co. We have tried this before. We tried this at the indie show, and I forgot to hit record. So
basically twice. Because you forgot the first time, and then the second time the card didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we did do it twice.
We literally filmed the podcast twice.
Yes.
And got nothing.
Well, we did on the camera, on the camcorder, but it didn't do anything on the SD card or both times.
So yes. Nothing.
So nothing.
Nothing.
So what we're going to do on episode 12 is obviously we're going to start with the verse of the week, and then I'll let Matt take that here in just a second.
Yep.
And then we are going to obviously talk about Tyler and Shilling Fowl Co. Go through a couple things in detail with all of that. Kind of some things that you've got going on outside of the Falco thing. You've been doing a lot of hats and things like that. So we'll cover some of that too. But with that being said, Matt, you want to go through the verse of the week here? Yeah,
we'll go through the verse of the week. So did it this week? Last Monday. It went pretty good. Had a lot of good messages and people reaching out, kind of just just like tell me how cool it was, and had some people sharing their story on, their journey, I guess.
I did see that.
Yeah, you saw that on the messages?
Yep.
So that was pretty cool, which actually, that's what the verse of the week this week came from. Is I was like, hey, you got a favorite verse? Mm-hmm. And he gave me one. But his story is pretty cool. He said I could share it, and basically just whatever, just seeking God, but didn't know where to go, and he just asked for a sign. Like, kind of, we've all probably done a little bit of that. Like, man, just if you could just show me something, I would believe. I guess.
Yeah.
Like, oftentimes he does, and we don't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, he asked for a banded Drake wood duck. He's like, I'm gonna go hunt tonight. You send me this, I'm all in. And guess what happened?
Shot a
banded Drake wood duck. He said a group of woodies flew by, and he just pointed up, shot. One fell out. Didn't know what it was. Picked it up, and it was a banded Drake wood duck. So, I don't know. That's kind of cool. Sounds kind of cliche, but like, hey, I mean, that's a pretty tall order. And I mean, that don't just happen. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so his favorite verse, and that's going to be this verse of the week. And these calls and everything will go out Monday. So the verse is Isaiah 60:22. The smallest family will become 1,000 people, and the tiniest group will become a mighty nation. At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen. So just like last week, I like to kind of break it down into a few parts. I got 3 parts on here, and kind of the first part of it is the smallest family will become 1,000 people. Basically, growth starts small, but his plans are never limited by size or status, and don't underestimate what kind of is happening in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And like, there's no tall order, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, if you seek it, it will happen. And we kind of like, smallest family become 1,000 people. Like, you kind of open your eyes, like, there's a lot more people involved in this than you even realize.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It just kind of breeds and grows community.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what we've experienced here in the last few weeks. Number 2, the tiniest group will become a mighty nation. Basically, the tiniest group will become a mighty nation. So, like, just the few can have the biggest impact.
Impact, right? Yep.
But I think about Phil Robertson, which is an obvious one. Just one person, one family impacted. I was listening to their podcast. They said that he reached 40 million people, they would estimate.
Yeah.
That's one person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the tiniest group become a mighty nation. I feel like that's kind of what that is kind of describing, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and to piggyback off that too, like if you think about Duck Dynasty in the show and why the show was no longer a thing, and it was because of
It's new. It just came out.
Well, I'm talking about like before.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
they didn't want any of that, and so that crew was like, okay, well, we're not doing it then, right? So it's just like, but I just think that point in their career and what they stood behind changed the lives of so many people, because so many people at that point were probably just like, you know what, I'm going to look into seeing what they're actually talking about. You know what I mean?
Right. Point number 3, at the right time, the Lord will make it happen. Basically, it's on God's time. It's not on our time. And I kind of have a hard time with that. You know, kind of stuff I'm going through right now is I feel like my faith is being tested to where, you know, because I've been obedient and then fallen off the tracks many times. You know what I mean? And I feel like in this one, I don't know why I just see it this way.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's things that I'm praying for that I feel like he's testing me to where you prove your obedience to me and it will come on his time, on his terms. But I've got to prove, you know, I got to keep seeking. I got to keep, you know, wanting it. And again, you know, it's on his time.
Right.
You know, his will, it's not ours. And, but his promise is true, you know, so that's the, wrap up the verse of the week. That'll release Monday here, June. What is it?
Today is I don't even know. I think it's like the 5th, maybe 4th or 6th. Today's the 6th.
Oh, don't even say.
I think Monday's June 9th. So this will go out June 9th. 3 calls. It'll be a duck call this time. It'll be a gray barrel with a black insert. Got a black matte black band and some gold stuff going on it. So I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, only 3 of those numbered. Kind of a rare deal. And yeah.
Yeah, and like we talked about in, you know, the last episode where we introduced this verse of the week, and you know, obviously we had people reach out to us, you know, and we talked about in the last one, you know, just having those moments ourselves while we're, you know, in the woods and really thinking about how many people, you know, that's happened to as well. So if you have a story that that has changed your perspective or changed your life or whatever it may be, and you want to share that with us, please do, and we'll talk about it on the show here. So, for those of you that aren't aware right now too, which obviously probably nobody is but us, but we are trying something new, and right now we're live on TikTok.
Yeah, so, trying to grow the TikTok side of things. Yeah, it's been going well, but there's so many cool tools on TikTok that you could be utilizing.
We just found today. Like, didn't realize it until. So if you see,
guy just came in today and was like, "Hey, let's just go live on TikTok."
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you see Matt over here fiddling with the phone or whatever it might be, or if we're like looking over in this direction, it's because the camera for TikTok is over here. So
got 2 cameras here.
Yeah,
don't know who to look at.
So it is. And so if you kind of
let's put an eye on each one.
We look good up there. I don't know about that.
I look very white on TikTok. I look very white on TikTok. I look good on the big screen.
So if you hear Matt just like randomly talking to somebody, then he's not crazy. He's probably talking to somebody on TikTok or someone who's talking. But with all that being said, before we get into this episode, like I said, we're going to talk to Tyler. He has a lot going on right now.
A lot of irons in the fire.
A lot of irons in the fire. And it all seemed like it happened like back to back to back. So it was like all in or nothing.
Yep.
So we're going to take a quick break. If you guys don't have anything that you want to talk about quick before we get in a break, we'll break this thing off, and then we'll get back into the show. You guys have anything? All right. Cue. All right. Cue the music. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Last Flight Show, brought to you by Last Flight Calls and Gear. This episode starts now.
Welcome back to the Last Flight Show.
Welcome back. So yeah, we're just gonna roll with that. We're back in.
It. Oh,
yeah, perfect.
Sermon's over.
Yep.
Christ cast.
Pop the top.
Goodness.
All right. What are you drinking over there anyway? What is that?
Modelo Chilada.
Modelo Chilada. Okay. Well. So let's just start this thing.
So I
Tyler.
have a personality.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you've been on this show twice. Both times it failed.
Correct.
But there you go. I was getting ready to point that out. Talk into the mic. Thank you.
He's not used to this.
No, he's not. And
What do I do with my hands?
you can move that around too, to where if you want to sit back a little bit, you can just do whatever you want. Okay, just don't break it.
Perfect.
Anyhow.
All right. So Tyler Shilling, introduce yourself. Shilling Fowl Co.
I am Tyler Shilling. I am Shilling
know.
Fowl Co.
And Hat Co.
Hat Co.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Tell us about how'd you get started with it?
I just came up with a solution. I started off with the gun loops, and I was tired of just a bulky sling, trying to hang it on a tree. It wasn't working. So
Didn't like it.
didn't like it. So came up with a solution for it, and it's just spiraled from there.
That's the gun loop. That's this here.
Yep.
You ever seen one of these?
Yeah, actually, I took I had an old paracord lanyard, and I would tie it on the end of my gun, and then I'd dip it in the water and hang it on the tree, and it would freeze, like being so cold.
Oh yeah.
And it wouldn't be all floppy when you try to take your gun off the tree.
Yeah.
There's one up there actually.
Nice. Like it.
So is this the original?
OG.
The OG.
You're the originator.
I would say.
All right. Yeah, I don't know.
I've had other people say otherwise, but I made them just for myself and my friends from the beginning.
That's how it all starts.
how
The
it
next
does.
thing you know, you're making them for everybody.
Yep.
How many of these did you sell last year?
Over 1,000.
Did you?
Yeah. And I make all of these myself.
I
so.
think I don't know how many I sold on my website. It was a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure your hands are tired.
So
Yeah.
the whole thing started from a frozen. Well, I mean,
Piece
just
of paracord.
a frozen piece of paracord.
We'll just keep it frozen, make it out of wire.
And then it really evolved into a lot more.
Yeah, it's real. I wouldn't necessarily say basic, but like minimalist, to where, I mean, who likes to carry 9 calls around their neck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Right.
So, I mean, I hunt with like a single call lanyard, but obviously I make them so I can just like have a lanyard for like a goose call and everything else.
We're getting some comments here on the live feed.
Oh boy.
We'll go back and answer some of these. Anyhow, we'll go back and answer those after a bit, just because I think that would be fun too.
It would be.
Q&A.
A
little
Q&A.
Q&A.
I got people. Yeah, I got people asking me things. Why does the call stick so bad? I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say what?
I'm just kidding. So what all do you make at Shilling Fowl Co?
I do a lot of leather work. I mean, everything I make is made by me. I make it all myself.
We know that. What do you make?
Custom lanyards, slings, game totes, turkey totes.
You make those. Probably one of my favorite things that you make is the leather, the mouth call holders.
Oh yeah,
I think those
pretty
are
cool.
one of the coolest things.
Yeah, I made a couple last year. Did them all by hand and stuff like that, and they were pretty cool. Just gave them to a couple buddies I have. Now I have a cool laser.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say. Then you had
You make these things.
the laser installed.
Yeah, I made those for you as a gift.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
Actually, like 6 months ago. You're just now getting.
You put these on your turtle box, stick them on there, and number one, like if you got multiple ones, number one, number two, so you just know what to connect to.
And those are
instead
all-
of just like hitting the turtle box on the Bluetooth, and you're just waiting.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wrong one. And I got like 4 of them on there, and it's just like
It's
I gotta
a pain
go through.
with 2.
I gotta go through all of them.
And those are custom too, right? Like people can have
Oh, you can't get this anywhere.
make them.
Yeah, I can make
Make
them
them
with
like
people's
custom.
logos or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
So I know you do like a lot of custom hats. Is like everything? I mean, is there a possibility for anything really that you make leather-wise to be custom? Or are you just trying to stick with hats right now just because of it's a little tougher to go outside
I was going to get into it. I think like as busy as I was last year, I'm going to change some things around this year.
Well, I think
it was just
I think
overwhelming.
I think it gets struggled because it's just like, it's there's so many options, and then when you go into the cost of everything and the price and all that kind of stuff, and then you start adding in the extra as far as like some things it's nice to be able to do custom, but there's some things to where it's just like is it worth it to do the custom, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Because at that point you're just like a custom design company, like you know what I mean? So
Well, most of the time with the custom stuff, you can't charge enough for the amount of time that's in it, and you just end up selling yourself short overall as a business.
Right.
I mean, we went through that at Last Flight for the first year and a half.
Yeah.
Was all custom orders, made by hand, all that stuff. We didn't have any production. And, man, you couldn't charge enough for
Right.
it, for the time you put into it. And, you just can't grow a business that way. It's really, really hard to have a full-time job doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of can't. But if you can figure out a way to have some sort of custom feel to the production line, that can really do a lot of good things for you.
yeah.
I think of it like if I have 90 orders in my Shopify and I finally get one stitched up, ready to go, and somebody wants their name or logo on it, and I mess that up, then what?
Right.
Then I got
Start
how many more
over.
hours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which last year was mostly custom last year on the leather stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously these were you're making these.
I was trying to make some inventory and it just never happened. It was like all day, every day.
Hire somebody.
Right.
I know, and
That's on my.
I know that we give you crap all the time because we're like, we say the Shilling Hat Co. just because of the amount of hats that you pump out.
He doesn't even
But
spell it right.
It's Chilling Hat Co.
On purpose.
Shilling Hat Co.
Well, the typo happened once. I'm just like, I'm riding with it.
Yeah. But I mean, realistically, you look like you've been pumping some hats out and they look good.
Yeah.
So is that like maybe, like I know we joke about it, but is that like an option? Is it like a future plan maybe? Do you have like a separate, like I know you've got like the Shilling Fowl Co., but is there thought about maybe doing a Shilling Hat Co. just because of the amount of that you already do of the custom hats?
Yeah, I would say so. All falls back on finding an employee. Because when it's close to duck season, there's no way I could keep up with making hats and doing everything else.
Yeah.
So.
Hats
Yeah.
are nice right now because it's a slow time for us
Yeah.
waterfowl businesses. But yeah, when August rolls around, that
Yeah.
stuff kind of goes.
Speaking
by
of
the
August,
wayside.
we got a big August.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's going on?
me no sure.
Waterfowlers Expo.
Waterfowlers
We're heading
Expo.
up. Are you going to that?
I'm going.
Okay, it's in Wisconsin, 2-day event. August. Look. I don't even know what
is
weekend.
it,
Third
20
weekend?
something?
Third weekend of August, probably. It's
Third
in
weekend of
Oshkosh,
August.
but anyways, yeah, I'll have 3 spots. And you got a spot, right?
Oh, yeah. Right
So-
across from you.
Right by RW.
Right across from you.
Oh. But yeah, so we'll be heading up there. You riding with me?
Yeah.
How you
Carpool.
How you hauling your stuff?
In your trailer.
Oh boy.
Like I have room. Do I have room in my trailer?
You can leave half the junk here.
No.
I don't know about that. Yeah, that'll be
man.
fun. That's a really great expo.
What's the first year? It's 2 days.
Yes, it used to be 1 day, which was honestly very nice because literally you could make the trip in like 36 hours. You drive there, you set up, show the next day, pack up, drive home. Mm-hmm. So literally, I can see my family Friday morning and Saturday night. And I literally went to Wisconsin, did a show, and drove back. You know what I mean?
That is nice. Yeah.
It is very tiring, but it's very nice to just be like, to do that,
Right.
do it like that. Whereas 2 days, I'm sure the 2 days will be good. I really hope they don't do 3 days.
Yeah.
3 day shows are kind of, I don't really understand it. because like Fridays are usually just like dead. Like nobody's taking off work to come to the show when it's Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're not doing that. And then you just get like the tire kickers on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That don't really have much to do anyways.
Right.
Sorry, people, but like, you know what I mean? Like, so they literally just come by and
We had a pretty good Friday in Columbus this year.
They just tire kick and pick up. I don't know. They don't buy anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, they just come around and take all the free stuff and put it in their bag and walk off.
We lose all of our stickers on Friday.
Yes. And, so like Fridays are always just like, I wish they would kind of either do away with Fridays or just do a Friday Saturday or a Saturday Sunday type deal. But
Yeah.
that Saturday is where the money's at on the shows, but we'll see what happens in Wisconsin. Is it Friday Saturday or Saturday Sunday?
I don't know.
So we'll have
I don't know either.
Hopefully it's better than Columbus.
We'll have. But you had a better show. You had a better indie show than you did Columbus show, didn't you?
Yeah. Indy was my first show, so
Well, and that's the
I
thing
didn't have
too.
anything to go off of.
Well, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute too. But like that's the thing too. Like, so Indy was your first show, and I don't know. I just felt like Indy was. I liked Indy better almost because we were all together. I just feel like it was more enjoyable for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because they had all the call and waterfowl folks in one aisle almost, because we had.
It is interesting.
Because we had JT, then us, and then you. So it was like, and we had like turtle boxes that were linked. That were like the whole thing was a party.
Yeah, the waterfowl
Indy
aisle
was a party.
like, yeah, it was a different vibe from the rest of the show because
Yeah.
they like kind of wall us off in there. They put out these tall curtains. They try to like dampen the sound of the rest of the show. So they put us all in the corner, put up these tall curtains all around us.
Yeah.
And we just have our own
It's a
deal.
total- it was
Just blare
It's
music
a different
all day.
vibe.
Yeah,
it's a
totally
different vibe in there.
Like, cause you go to leave to go across to get something to eat, and then
It's
as
like, wait a
soon as
minute,
you
am I in the wrong show?
yeah,
Did I
as
just
soon
walk
as
through a
you
different
leave,
building?
as soon as you leave the aisle, it's just like, what is going on in here?
Yes, it's just quiet. and
This is
dead
terrible.
and
This is boring.
it's literally like an old folks home. The rest of
Yeah.
the place.
Then you cross the line and come into
You
our
cross
aisle.
the divide and it is on.
It's like instant party mode.
But for a consumer, if you're looking for a duck call or any, or goose call, it is a great show because you can hit up like 5 call companies in a matter of like 50 feet of walking.
Yeah.
Figure out what you want
Yeah.
and what you don't.
And when it starts getting busy, then it's just like this company, like Matt's over here, like bellowing on a call, and then you got another company down the aisle, and it just goes back and
From the sky to the
from
ground.
the sky.
Every time I hear somebody on a call, I gotta call louder.
But it's a game. It's like a game between everybody too. Like there's no like animosity or frustration, like because you'll see
Yeah,
them.
we're all having fun.
Yeah, like Matt will start, and then the guy 2 or 3 booths over, he'll start, and then he's like laughing and smiling, and then Matt starts laughing and starts calling again. It's a good time.
I mean, we compete for sales, but we're all friends
Right.
in the end.
Yeah.
Like we all get together, go out to dinner, and
Yeah.
at night, and we share all of the same interests, pretty much in life and everything.
Yeah.
And business, other than we're competitors.
Right.
So we get along well, really.
Yeah.
And
And we
we just
talk.
don't talk much marketing strategies.
Yeah. But, I mean, we talked in like earlier podcast, like my experience, as being like, this is my first year going to trade shows. This is your first year as
Me
a
too.
business owner, right? So it's just like my experience, outside of the waterfowl world and trade shows is totally different. So like the waterfowl world, I mean, obviously you want to sell more than the next guy. But at the same time, it's not cutthroat. It's not like everybody's bashing everybody for the most part. No, you get into like whitetail, stuff like that. It's just like, if you're a whitetail company and there's let's say you're a whitetail scent company and then there's another whitetail scent company, you're automatically enemies.
I feel like there might be more scent companies than duck call company.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There is a lot.
Or like food plot.
Yeah.
Seed.
There's a lot.
You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
I mean, how many salt blocks can you put different logos
I
on?
know. And I mean, realistically, like there's so much stuff that is sold that like still like 75% of the hunting population just goes to Tractor Supply. You know, and they buy a salt block of Tractor Supply.
Yeah, it's just easy. It's right there. I don't talk to anybody. I know what I'm getting.
Right, unless you're getting it like most of the people that are doing. I mean, I'm trying to say this carefully, but at the same time, I really don't care.
It's a block of salt.
Well, and it's like you're
minerals.
I'm with the conversations that we've had in the past with pro staff, things like that. Like it's people are promoting things.
That's just every episode, doesn't he?
I know. We still need to have that conversation. But anyway,
Ask us about pro staff.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's talk about moving on.
How do you get your
salty-
teeth so white?
Salty Sunday.
That's the teeth.
This
the
is
lighting.
glaring off the light.
Sorry,
You
it's
have, like,
really
a
white on
routine?
TikTok.
You have a routine?
That was one thing at the shows we at Indy. I think it was Indy only, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like every other dude
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude.
that would come to the booth would be like, first they're looking at the calls, like, man, there's a lot of calls, and like a lot of colors. And they look up at me like, whoa, dude, your teeth are so white. And I'm just like, Jake, take care of this person. So I don't know if the light was hitting.
Has anybody told you have really nice teeth?
Not since then.
Everybody.
Nobody since then has told me that. It was only that show, but it was just like it happened like 3 or 4 times at that show, and it was really weird. It was really weird. But, so that's kind of an inside joke now.
Yeah. So like some insights too on like I'm gonna call it show life, but like there's things like Tyler was just talking about, like the ask me about pro staffs. There was this little I don't know if you would call it like a sign, like a little placard thing that you put on like your desk or whatever, and then so somebody wrote ask me about pro staff.
I think it was Peter.
I think it was Peter. And then that thing made it to every booth. And then you just walk up.
Like every call company, we would like trade it around.
Yeah.
Just to mess with people. Because, sorry, but like pro staff's just not like.
It's not what it used to be. It's so different. And
We don't have a
not
pro
worth
staff.
it.
We have a family.
Yeah.
And it's a small circle.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the only reason for that is because we don't like using people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna send out, oh, here's your 40% off. Go to 100 people and say you're
Right.
pro staff. That's about the most dumbest thing. I'm not doing that.
Right.
It's like that is literally just to push sales.
Yeah.
That's all that
it
is.
It is.
And so I just keep it small. You know, I got Jake and Shilling, and but no, you know, just keep it here in the family and treat those guys the best that we can. And, you know, that's how it is. You know, so and that's how all of us call companies are.
Right.
So like we pass around this ask about our pro staff program, this little placard around we'll put it on JT's booth, and then you know it'll be there for like an hour until they find it, and then they'll come back to our booth. You know, just as kind of like a inside joke. I mean, honestly, you got to have some fun at the show because like Friday, like it's pretty draining getting all the free stuff stolen from you.
Yeah.
We've kind of hidden the stickers on Friday.
All right, so let's compare a little bit.
Let's get back to the Falcos.
Yeah, let's compare. Okay, so your first show, was Indy. What was your experience like leading up to the show? Like, was there
Anxiety.
I was getting ready to say there's probably a lot of alcohol and intake and anxiety.
Yeah, a lot of all-nighters just trying to, because I didn't know what to expect,
Right,
like what to
yeah.
bring.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, just have a bunch of everything.
Yeah.
So hiring my buddies to come help, and they would help me here and there. And
You guys got set up really early. Was you worried that it was going to
yeah, I didn't know. Well, my booth is like, you know, it looks like this, but it's a real poplar board, and it's like their house stud walls, and it all screws together. So, I mean, it's sweet, but.
So what was like, so day one, you know, because some people, they're like, yeah, I'm a people person, or I'm a salesman, or whatever.
I am not.
And
I can't talk to anybody. Like, hey, got one of these.
got one of these.
He
Are
just
you-
sits
are
there
you a duck
behind his
hunter?
booth, like
Just
waiting.
sit there.
It's kind of creepy.
Sometimes I just go away. Like somebody else, Peter would come over and sell my stuff for me.
Yes.
One thing I want to do next year is I want to say something on the podcast, like right before a show, right? So if it's if we're going to Indy or Columbus or whatever maybe be going, the podcast before, I want to say something in that podcast that if they bring that podcast or bring that up at the show, then they get like one of the free lanyards or something like that. You know what I mean? So like one of the biggest things.
Wouldn't go that far, but
One,
from you guys, yeah, probably.
So one of the biggest things is like a guy walks by and you're like, "Are you a duck hunter?" You know what I mean? so we would ask people, like, even though we knew they were duck hunters, like if Shilling walked by our booth, I'd be like, "Are you a duck hunter?" And then so like I want to do next year, somebody walks up to our booth and says, "Are you a duck hunter?" Like I want to say, "Bingo." First 5 to do that, free lanyard.
Free
He's just
acrylic
making
duck call.
making company
So
impacting decisions over here.
And that takes me into my next thing is the difference between your shows for like an owner of the company and an employee of the company. You know what I mean? So like you just pretty much do everything by yourself, right? Like I mean you have
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, none of this stuff comes from China, which is more than a lot of people that can say that try to make the same stuff. Make it all myself.
Can't have them tariffs, buddy.
buddy. Okay, so Indy went well for you, or at least better than Columbus.
Yeah.
I think well, do you think it has something to do with you being from Indiana?
Some of it, maybe. And I mean, a lot of it was just people that, I had met before and come up and be like, hey.
Yeah, a lot of people that were familiar with Indy.
Right.
Yeah.
Ohio, I mean, it was a little bit different group of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bunch of Yankees.
Yeah.
Yep.
It definitely couldn't
Like
have
I
been
was
as fun.
behind 4 Amish carts on the way here, like about turning into the driveway. We're just in the middle of a cornfield.
Yeah.
So how much, I mean, I'm sure you learned a lot from the shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What to expect for next year.
Yeah, don't ride with Peter.
Don't ride with Peter. Scare the hell out of you.
Yeah.
All over the place. Poor guy's not
Matt's
even here
always
to
sick.
defend himself.
I learned that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Matt does
Indy
get
was.
show
Every
sick.
show.
Indy
gets
wasn't
sick.
good.
Indy, you were on the floor, literally laying.
The fever was like 109. I was in a microwave.
Yeah, it was bad.
No, but it was like 103.
Yeah.
That one time we checked it.
Every time I think of the Indy show, I think of
bad.
Matt coming out at the end yelling. It's a hold up.
Goodness gracious. Sometimes I let my goofiness get the best
Oh
of me.
man, there's
Do not recommend. Unless you want shot.
Yeah, you were about there.
law
tell
enforcement
the
standing
story?
outside the door. No, you go ahead. No, Shilling, tell the story because Shilling saw it all.
So I have a couple shotguns on display for slings and this and that. Well, I wasn't going to put them in my Pelican case, so I was like, hey, Matt, will you carry one of these? So I got all this other stuff. And he's like, yeah. And I see a CO walk outside, and he comes slowly behind him, and there were some other people in the parking lot, and Matt just says, everybody down. And this guy turned around. Zach yelled at him really good.
Oh my gosh,
Don't recommend.
there was ice outside the door. Who about fell? Was it Peter?
Yeah.
I think Peter about fell.
Yeah.
Oh man. So have you noticed any significant increases as far as messages or potential customers since the shows? Like, what?
I would say so. A lot more followers and stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is about being more personable.
Yeah.
People just think you're just like some big or not even big, just some name somewhere. But then you're like, hey, it's just this guy that is not a salesman and can't talk
Right.
to people
I can relate.
about some stuff.
Just sits back there and says, "Are you a duck hunter?" So, what's been, I guess, the most challenging part of establishing yourself within the outdoor industry? Like, there's steps, but I feel like you've kind of dove head first and just kind of so many different avenues. What's it been like for you establishing yourself or trying to?
I think a lot of it completely changed whenever I got my own website. Because before it was just like word of mouth,
Right.
social media,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Matt helped me set all that stuff up. So
Run some
what's that?
ads.
yeah.
Help him set up some ads and
Yeah.
doing kind of like what I've learned here at Last Flight.
Yeah.
Kind of help jumpstart what he
Yeah,
can
he's
do.
pretty good at that.
I
Pretty good
try.
at that stuff.
He is pretty good at that stuff. What's been some big struggles?
Oh, thinking doing something like this, you would have more time to go hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, work for myself and
Yeah.
be able to go hunt whenever I want.
Yep.
No.
Right. Yeah.
I made it to Oklahoma twice last year to hunt, and that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, other
More
than
than me,
like
dog.
a couple times.
Went to Michigan on that giveaway hunt. That was all I. That's the only place I went.
I did go to Michigan too, opening.
But so what are you gonna do? Say this coming year, because busy season. I call it selling season. Selling season is going to be
selling
here
season.
in 2 months. What are you going to do different this year versus last?
Try to gauge of last year, like this year from last year, with building inventory.
Yeah.
Kind of, I wouldn't say cut as much custom stuff out, but like limit a few options
Yeah.
as far as like down to every certain thing. I mean, if there's somebody that wants something special for somebody else, then I'm fine with that. But just kind of limit that down and then be able to build a lot more inventory of stuff. So I'm not.
You could do something where you like the cow hide ones, like you do like 20 of them. You put them on the website for the year. Then
Yeah.
you do 20 gator skins, put them on the website for the year. Whatever it is, 20 snake skin, whatever it is that, you know what I mean? You could do something like that to where kind of like how we keep the custom feel here
Drop,
with the limited runs
Yep.
and the small batches and just kind of limited stuff. You get the custom feel without being under the pressure of the custom, having to make custom stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you're making it on your own time. It's kind of like planned out. It's like it's not like full production, but semi-production. So you're more efficient with your time on it and stuff like that. If that makes sense. That could be something
I
that
think a lot of it is like. Now, I'm not going to say it's not about the dollar, because a lot of everything in life is.
I mean, at some
But-
point, it has to be about the dollar to a
Yeah.
point. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that I make everything and everything I make, I'm proud of.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I didn't have a single order come back last year.
Yeah.
2,400 orders just last duck season. Not a single order came back. Nobody even said like, "Hey, this thing sucks, dude."
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna buy something else.
And Post Malone ordered.
Yeah,
I forgot about that actually.
Ooh.
yeah.
Old Posty.
We were freaking out, weren't we?
Yeah. I called him 7 times before about 8 a.m.
It was like Saturday or Sunday morning, and I'm just like, what is happening? His house burned down? Like,
Oh, you called him how many times?
Yeah.
yeah, because
He wasn't even awake yet.
Post Malone ordered off his site a bunch of stuff. They came over to my site and ordered a bunch of stuff. I mean, a bunch of stuff. And
A lot.
you're like, oh, it wasn't him. But like, dude, we like looked up, sorry, Mr. Malone, but we creeped and I just Googled like, where he's from, where he lives, like the addresses matched. And then like, I Googled like aerial photos of his house. It's
Yeah.
like really creepy. But like, I then got on Google Maps, searched the address that was on the order. and it all matched. Like it all matched.
Yeah.
And even the email he used was from one of his other companies
Yeah.
that he has.
Yeah.
And they were corresponding on emails too.
Yep.
So
Yeah, he was pretty
it was
pumped.
a real deal.
He was pretty
Did
pumped
not
about
see
it.
them show up anywhere last season. Dang it.
Tried to play it off nonchalantly like I wasn't
That's what we do.
like
Yeah, me?
panicking. I sent my mom to the leather store.
Mom.
You need to go to Hobby Lobby right now.
Yeah. Well, it was the day of my kid's joint birthday party. So I'm like, all right, let's get this party over there. I got some stuff to make. And I think there were, I don't remember, 5 or 6 game totes, a couple lanyards and stuff. And I got it done and all hand stitched.
Biggest order of the year, wasn't it?
Everything, yeah. Got the order on Saturday, got it done and out on Monday. And it was just, yeah, straight panic. I just sent him emailed him a picture like, here you go, man. Hope you enjoy. Like nonchalant, like I wasn't like up for 20 hours.
I could
This is what we do.
I just keep like picturing this, like Shilling's in his mom's basement in his boxers,
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I own my own home.
yelling,
Working on Post Malone's order. Mom!
"Mom, need you to go to Hobby Lobby?" Oh man.
Oh, that's funny right there.
Oh, so what's your okay? I guess we might have hit on a little bit, but what's the biggest takeaways that you've learned from the shows as far as getting in front of people? Like obviously, it has to increase your ability and your comfortability with talking to people and getting your product out there.
Yeah. Couple of beers.
Couple of beers. A couple. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. But no, it's a little different. Like especially people that it's cool that like people that have heard of you. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, I've seen this stuff.
Yeah.
Or, I
Yep.
see your ads, and I'm like, good.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah.
You guys want to go through some comments?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I don't even know what. There's not a lot, honestly. This is our first time doing the live, so I got like 4 people on here right now.
4. Ooh.
I got some Q&As too.
That's more people that came to Shilling's booth in Columbus.
Dylan says, good morning. What's your favorite call?
Are they asking me?
No, because it's not last play. I'd say my favorite call in our lineup for duck is the illusion and the deceiver for goose.
The mini illusion.
Those minis are sweet.
Yep.
Minis really are cool.
Yeah, the minis are actually pretty cool. But we don't make a lot of it. It's kind of a limited. You should do a giveaway. I just bought a limited run goose call. Well, we do giveaways, and we just did one with Blocker Outdoors, but we should do one on TikTok. Just because, I guess.
Which-
Good.
There's going to be a lot more things that we're going to do because, like I said, this is our first time doing this live on TikTok, and there's like so much that we learned just when we started this today. So there's going to be all kinds of things that we're going to do with this, and
Yeah, there's a lot of features on there.
yeah, like it'll be all, obviously, if you listen to the podcast or watch it, or if you're on TikTok, obviously it's going to be not just exclusive to TikTok, but there may be some things that we do, for the show that we do exclusively through TikTok.
What's your favorite call? Okay. Giveaways. How many bands are on your lanyard? I have 5 bands. 2 duck bands. I shot the one 3 years ago. Then that same year in May, I picked one up off the road over here, like 3 miles up the road. There's a dead duck on the road, and you got to band check it.
Yeah,
And sure enough, it was banded. That video's on
I remember
Instagram.
I remember getting that because it was a Snapchat.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I remember getting
I
that.
was on my way to town.
I thought you were lying.
I drove to town and I passed this roadkill, and I looked in my rear view and it looked like a wing like flipped over from the wind, right? So I'll check it on my way back. So I pulled up, checked it on my way back, and It was banded. It's pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
So that was my second duck band. Then I got 3 goose bands. My latest one was like 5 years ago. It was a 12-year-old bird, banded out of Piqua. We were hunting in Troy, so it literally traveled like 3 miles.
Yeah.
And it's 12-year-old, just an old local. I've probably seen that goose 100 times. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then the other 2 are from birds up at Salina. I shot them when I was younger. I don't even know, 10, 11, 12. I don't remember much on those birds, but that was a long time ago. So, yeah.
How many bands you got on yours?
I don't really carry any bands on there. I only got like one goose band.
You just got so many that it just
I
weighs you down.
had my own made, and I put them on all my
I can give you a last flight band.
custom lanyards.
Yeah.
It's a Shilling Fowl Co band with a Bible verse on it.
Does it really have a Bible verse on it?
Yeah, Acts 10:13.
Hey, that's not a bad idea
What's
to do
that?
either.
What's that verse?
And a voice said, "Peter, get up." Wait, what was it? Get up,
You can get your
kill,
phone
and
out.
eat.
Get up,
That's
kill,
it.
and eat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
That's scary.
I need a new duck call for the upcoming season. What do you recommend? I recommend the Illusion. It's my favorite. It's a single reed, easy to blow. When we design these calls, we make them so a wide range of folks, different skill levels, can use them. Yes, I know every call company says that, right?
Right.
But I mean, that's the idea is if you want to sell to a lot of people, you need a call that can appeal to a lot of people, work for a lot of people. So that's the goal, right? So that's a good call. I like the Illusion. Need to come to Louisiana. I am probably not going to Louisiana because I'm probably not going anywhere because I'm too busy in here. And with just life, honestly. Nothing against anybody. That's just it.
We can send Zach and Peter as our road crew.
As our road crew. Any plans on making more of the mallard head call again? Nope. We had 4 of those, and like the material just doesn't exist. I've already asked because they literally went instantly, and I had so many messages and people sharing it that I know I could have sold a ton of them. So I was like, I need more, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah. Call market is absolutely flooded right now. The call market has been flooded for a long time. Honestly, kind of what sparked a lot of the call making, even just your small shop, super small shop guys, was Duck Dynasty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
the publicity.
That mass publicity of the duck call and all that. And I mean, it's such an easy thing to get into. You can go up to Harbor Freight and be making a duck call that day if you wanted
And they
to.
do.
Yeah.
And they do.
And
it's the startups, not a lot to make them. Now, making a good one is not, I would say is definitely not as much of a flooded market. I would say like out of say the whole call market as a whole is 100%. I mean, honestly, like I would say 20% are good calls that can appeal to a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you can buy the stuff from Harbor Freight to make your own calls.
You
right?
can make a call right now.
Yeah, and I
be
did
terrible.
try. I did try to make calls. I did because this was probably, I don't know, at least 5 or 6 years ago, probably. And what we'd done was we went and bought a lathe and all that kind of stuff, and we tried to make our own, and we did. We made calls.
Yeah.
Of course, we ended up buying, all the inserts and all that was already done. All we had to do is make the barrel and stuff like that. But it's like there's a difference between being able to, and that's the problem right now and that's why it's so flooded is because there's so many people that are attempting to make calls. They make the call, they put it online for sale, but they're not going to stay with it. Like they're not going to invest more of their time into that, and they don't necessarily understand what kind of work is going to go into that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you're okay with it being a hobby, and you're just making enough money on them to just buy more material, that's one thing. But you're never going to be able to, back it by a warranty. You know what I mean? Like a lifetime deal. You know, like if something happens to a last flight call,
Yeah.
like it's backed by warranty, right? They're not going to be able to do that and stuff like that. So, and the quality and the consistency
Yeah.
and everything else.
I mean, that's
big
kind of
difference.
what we went through was we made the hand turn for like a year and a half. And then it was just like, well, we need to make a decision because this is sucking the life out of me and my family, unfortunately, because I would work a full-time job and then go over and try to build this company till 10, 11 o'clock at night, you know, go home, everyone's in bed. And then you get up and go to work, and then you do that on repeat. You kind of just, you know what I mean? It's not
Right.
good. It's not a
Yeah.
good thing. And anyways, so like we had to make a decision. And of course, the decision was to move forward and get like a CNC machine and kind of, you've got to automate this and be able to
Right.
build production and have inventory and do all this,
Yeah.
which has opened up a whole nother can of worms. But I'm a lot more freer today than I was then, of course. And we're so busy now. I mean, that opened up as soon as we got the machine. I mean, we like, you know, the next month was like 10 times grew like that just because we had inventory
Right.
to sell.
Yeah.
Because everything I made every night, I'd make 1 or 2 calls a night. It would sell that day. Like it would sell, you know, and the next day I'd come in, ship that, make more, you know, put it up online, sell that, ship, you know, and it was daily. And once we had inventory, it was like the next month we were just 10 times we had inventory. And, you know, got that CNC machine, but now we're so busy. Really, I need a new machine that can operate a little bit more efficiently. That would be great. Probably looking at that this year because right now we're outsourcing probably 2/3 of our turning, not our call making. You know, it's all by our designs, but they're getting made in another machine shop that has the ability to make the numbers that we need.
Right.
And just being transparent, like I can count on one hand the call companies that actually manufacture their own calls in house, and you'd be surprised at who does and who doesn't.
Yeah.
And you know, just for perspective, you know what I mean. It's just so hard to bite that bullet with
Yeah.
the flooded market,
Yeah.
and so. But like coming into this next season here, it's probably going to be a purchase at the end of the year. I'll keep that CNC machine. I bought that one for $10,000, and it's been running for I don't even know how long now.
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
6 years. That thing has paid for itself like I don't even know how many times over.
Yeah.
100 times over.
And-
I mean, like 1,000 times over, literally. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it has.
Yeah.
It's been a good one. So I'm going to keep it. Probably maybe just do wood out of it and then get a new machine and keep it all acrylic. Because if, you know, you dirty a machine on wood, it takes its toll on the machine. It's just disgusting, honestly.
Yeah.
And having to clean the machine out, it gets pretty gross.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I mean, you
Where
can,
was I going with that?
I don't know, but you
The
can,
flooded market.
yeah,
Oh yeah, flooded market.
you can relate a little bit too. I mean, obviously not with the call making, but just your vision of what you wanted to do when you started, I'm sure has changed since then. You know what I mean? Since you've been able to, like you said, you got the laser now, you got all that stuff. Your ability to do more has changed since you started the company, right? So like, I'm sure you didn't expect to be doing what you're doing right now when you first started, right?
No. I just thought it was just going to be a little side gig.
Yeah.
And I think about July last year, I figured out that it was not. I've been a union operator for a long time, and I had to stop doing that. So
Yeah. And it's, I mean, obviously it's what, I mean, Shilling Fowl Co wouldn't be what it is if you didn't invest more into the company itself, right? Like if you were just making these, you know, and this is all you were doing, which is probably what you started, this was your plan, you know what I mean?
Right.
Before, you know, the game totes and the gun straps and all that kind of stuff. Like,
before leather at all, I had made a couple. I can't say what they were, leather ones, and
Why not?
I posted a TikTok of it, and then somebody was like, "I want to buy that," and I was like, I don't know. It's kind of rough, man. I've since reached out to that guy, like, hey, that was like the first one I ever did. So
Yeah.
like, if you want a new one, I'll replace it because it was pretty rough.
But that's just the thing. Like the market can get flooded in the outdoor industry. The market can get flooded so fast with all kinds of things, and it's not just calls. It could be
Like every
ammunition
day.
or lanyards or whatever it is. Like somebody is wanting. Someone's watching something or looking at something, saying, "I'm going to do that. I'm going to start a company, and I'm going to make those." And it's
hard to be unique in this industry.
It is.
It's truly hard
Yeah.
to be innovative.
Yeah.
Think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Every
of
day there's somebody just trying to do the same thing you're doing.
it's
Right.
So with us, it's the look and feel of the company, the limited runs, the verse of the weeks,
Yeah.
the small batches, the material we're using.
Yeah.
Just just not just here's your 5 flavors.
Yeah. And I mean,
like it or leave it.
and I can-
you know what I mean? We just kind of have fun with it.
yeah.
Do the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
doing the YouTube stuff. I mean, it's just trying to be different than just, build a community.
Right.
And, a last flight family versus just selling a duck call on a website. There's
Yeah.
just no attachment to that.
And we can compare a little bit to, photography or media content, we've talked about in the past,
Yeah,
just
that's a
being
good one.
different and, and doing different things and just kind of having your own thing. Because obviously, if you're doing the same thing that you saw somebody else do, like that's already there. Like do something different that makes your company unique. You know,
right.
there's not a lot of people that are making what you're making. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you got that game toad up there. That's unique.
Yeah, grab that.
Like I don't know that. Yeah, you'd be good. Oh, knock ducks off the wall.
It's got some hair on
That's
it.
got hair. Like, I mean, that's
That's hair.
Yep.
genuine cow leather.
All hand stitched by me. Cow hide. This actually came out of the same hide that made old Post Malone.
Then you ate it for dinner.
Whose cow'd you kill?
Neighbors.
I wondered.
Allegedly.
Still looking for it.
Let me see it. So what does something like this sell for?
I think they're 160.
160. That ain't bad.
No.
You ain't getting this anywhere. What? How long does this take to make?
Few hours.
20 minutes.
Few hours.
Yeah. Pretty nice. Got some hair on her.
Some hair.
Pretty cool. And these things will. How much do you weigh? Hold a 240-pound man.
Say 210.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's going off looks. That's all.
Oh man.
Well, it's probably gonna be it for today then.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you want to bring up? I mean, you're the guest on the show. We're here to help you. Support you and help you. Get Shilling Fowl Co out there as well as. Obviously you're here to help us with the show, and we enjoyed having you on. Is there anything that you want to talk about? Anything coming up? Any kind of promotions? What you got?
We do have
Shilling Hat Co.
a few things. Yeah, if you need hats for your business, reach out to me. But once August gets here, don't. I'll probably be too busy.
You're gonna have like a little ribbon cutting ceremony.
I just it's just an awesome industry. It is. I've met the amount of people you've met. Like there's people that I've talked to that,
We
who
wouldn't have
else
met.
talks to Post Malone though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like other people, like a lot of singer-songwriters in Nashville and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have reached out to me, and just working with a whole bunch of different people. I mean, it's awesome. And like hanging out with you guys, and it's okay sometimes.
It's a great
okay
time.
sometimes.
I love it.
And it's connections too, right? So it's just like, and that's the biggest thing about these shows is that, it's for the customer. And I think, obviously we want to sell as much as we can at the shows, right? That's
Yeah.
like, that's what we build inventory for. That's what we take all the inventory for. Like we want to sell as much as we can. But at the same time, it's just like people that have maybe not duck hunted, or they have and they're looking for something different. It's an opportunity for people to come to the booth, meet the people that are making these calls. They can blow on the calls. They can and they can just see, firsthand or feel what it's like to use them, and that's their opportunity for them. But then full circle, it's like that's the opportunity for us to meet new people too. That's customers that would potentially be lifetime customers that we may not have otherwise had. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the one thing that I think that separates a lot of the companies apart is the availability to be just normal people, right? It's just like when we go to these shows, a lot of the people, and I know when I was younger, some of the companies that were successful, you don't think that you don't look at them as like normal people. And being able to come to the shows and just hang out and have a good time, like in Indy, when anybody that came there, it was just a party for everybody, right?
There's a lot of folks in this space that do it for the clout, and then that just breeds like kind of that stuck up kind of like feel. You know what I mean? Like they can't talk to you because they're just so cool.
Yeah.
In reality, it's just like we're doing it because we love hunting.
Right.
I mean, all I've done my whole life was waterfowl hunt. As much as I could was waterfowl hunt, and the making the calls and the podcast and everything that we do is related to that passion. It's just not for the clout. You know what I mean? So like, when you come talk to us, like we still put up a blind on public waters.
Right.
And we hunt out there with everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're not above anything. Like, we're still grinding. We don't do leases. I mean, there's nothing to lease around here that's worth anything, right?
Yeah.
We don't do any leases or anything like that. Like we hunt in our backyard, hunt the public land that we got around here, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like what everybody else does, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So when you come talk to us at a show, like we can relate to you, know what you're talking about. I'm not sitting on a duck lease in Arkansas for 60 days. You know what I mean? Like it's just, honestly, I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, that's the way we would rather do it.
Yeah. I mean, and you think about like going to like these big box stores, and I'm not going to name any like companies. I'm not going to single anybody out but like you go to these big stores and then you buy a call, and then it's just like, well, why do you buy that call? I don't know. I just always have.
Yeah.
But like when you come to a show, then you get to meet and talk to the people that are building them, and be personable with them and get to know them. And then it's just, I think it's a whole better situation, for everybody. The shows, I mean, they kind of suck sometimes just because we're so tired at the end of them. You get to the end of the day, Saturday, especially on Sunday, and you're like, I'm ready to go home. Like this has been a crazy weekend. It's been busy. But at the same time, it's just like, we've gotten a lot of people on board with what we're doing and the amount of things that we're doing. It's just a way to reach people that otherwise may not have seen or heard of new products, things that are going on, and just meeting people.
Are more apt to buy the stuff. Like if you act the way that people, like you normally do at shows, be like, you know what, that guy's kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
You're better off.
Golly.
Like to grow your business, you're better off building a community.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Versus your business, I guess, because the community will build your business.
Yeah.
Wow. Write that on the whiteboard.
Where's the whiteboard?
The community will build your business.
Don't worry about building your business. Build your community, because your community will build your business. And that's what's going to last. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think about all the great brands out there. Think about Yeti. They've built that community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the only reason you're buying overpriced coolers.
Right. Sitka.
I mean, they're building that community. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That culture.
Yeah.
It's not about, that's what will build the business, I guess. But, that's what we want anyways, because we enjoy that.
Yeah. Things are done with the customer in mind, right? It's not like I'm gonna make this because I know people will buy it. I don't care.
Right.
If it if it lasts or whatever it might be, you know what I mean? But building, the foundation using the community, like you was talking about, can go a long way.
Definitely.
So
Like 20, 30 people every day at the shows come up and like, they're like, this is such a good idea. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right,
Just
yeah.
like something they've never, had thought of.
yeah, I mean, it sucks that they didn't necessarily didn't get their wallets out, but at the same time, it's just like
You're right.
you've met them, they've met you, like that will go a lot farther than somebody that just is buying something from somebody that doesn't care about them. You know what I mean? So
Should I get the mallard green or smoke?
Smoke.
I just placed an order. Hopefully you got the smoke because that one's a little bit cooler. But honestly, both are really cool. Both are really cool. I appreciate the order. All right, let's wrap this sucker up. I'm hungry.
Yep. You got anything, Tyler?
No, thanks for having me on, dragging me all the way up here.
We got a website or anything?
Yeah. Well, what are you doing?
Why
here?
are you
what
here?
What are you doing?
Shillingfowco.com.
Message me for custom hats.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good.
What I got.
And that's a wrap. All right. So we're going to go ahead and, you guys don't have anything else. We'll go ahead and wrap this thing up and get something to eat and hang out and go from there. Sound good? You got anything else you want to add?
Sign us off.
Sign us.
Goodness gracious.
In the misery.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. See you.